This is Fantasy Banter HQ. Bold takes, sharp analysis, and zero filters.
It feels like there's more injuries now that they went to a shortened preseason, and then these guys aren't playing the preseason and getting the actual game hits. I mean, practice hits are different than game hits, right? And even in preseason.
It takes a lot longer for guys to kind of, I think, look at Dak last night, and he sucked the first two games, basically.
Yeah.
It's almost like that was his preseason, the first couple games.
Yeah, and now
from a performance
good last night.
Sure. Yeah, it was amazing. I left him in. It's funny. I was playing Dustin, and he went to try to grab Jordan Love off the waiver wire to block me, thinking I was going to try to pick him up instead of Dak. I'm like, I'll start Dak. He'll probably be playing catch up and put up 15, 20. I'm fine with it. And then he put up 31 or whatever that was. So that was exciting.
Yeah, it's good to see Pickens do some stuff because obviously I'm in the Empire League and, seeing how this season started, I was like, that sucks. Now I got this guy who was he was one of my, starting wideouts that's been relegated to nothing. And maybe now Dak will be like, wow, this guy's good too. I don't have to just throw it to CeeDee Lamb once CeeDee comes back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it is.
He's got two
it's
weapons.
Really exciting.
Yeah. This guy can catch balls too. This is amazing. That's what I'm hoping is happening right now.
I'm actually, and I've got no CeeDee Lamb, but I am hoping that it's not going to be one of those lingering injuries. But for the Pickens owners, I like you said, I hope he recognizes what he's got in him. It's just going to make the whole offense better when he's able to utilize everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I just remember that first year when Dak was starting, how it sucked to be a Des Bryant owner that year, I felt like. And I always think back on that. I know that it's been many years, and he's a lot better at football now than he was that rookie season. But,
Well, I remember that rookie season fondly. I actually did have him in a league, and I actually won the league. They played the Giants on a Monday night. I was down big, and I had him and Dez, and they had a monster game together and pulled it out for me. Yep.
Maybe I was playing against the guy that had. Maybe I was playing you, and that's why I don't like. Maybe that's why I don't like it.
that could be the case.
Bad first taste, huh?
No, dude. And I remember, And then they had Zeke. And I remember seeing the one guy that had it tattooed on his chest. It was like Dak, Dez, and Zeke. I wonder how that guy's feeling right now.
Right now.
Biggest regret of his life. It was cool at the time.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do some game reviews right now, aren't we? Isn't that what time it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do some game reviews until we figure out another method for how we're doing this podcast. That's how we're gonna do it. I asked you on the last podcast, Justin, who you wanted rest of season, Jamar Chase or Malik Neighbors, and you were having a hard time with that. Or no, it was Justin Jefferson or Malik Neighbors. You were having a hard time with it then, but now that you know Malik Neighbors is completely screwed for the rest of the season, what's your answer now?
So I don't think you asked me about Malik Neighbors. You're saying Jefferson versus Chase?
No, I said Jefferson versus Neighbors. And you're like,
okay.
It's so funny because we don't know what's going to happen week to week. So we're both like, oh, man.
It's definitely clearer now. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So can you believe the upset, man? The upset with the Giants beating the Chargers? Like, what?
That was crazy.
What happened there? Is Dart just like the man? Is that what's happening?
Amazing, but you always hear the West Coast team going east, and I didn't even consider them in the Eliminator Challenge this week for that simple fact. You never know what you're going to get with a rookie coming in, and then there does seem to be that challenge for those West Coast teams traveling cross country and then playing a noon game. Like, to them, that's starting at 9 a.m. It's just like completely out of their norm. And I wanted to stay away from it. It was still a shocker that they lost the game, but just one of those that I didn't want to touch.
You know who did want to touch the ball was Amari Hampton, and he went 4 for 128 in a touchdown on the ground Plus, he had 5 catches for 37 yards. And I had him in, and I feel good about that. You guys told me it was a Marianne Hampton season, and I'm glad that I visited the Hamptons this weekend.
The puns. Love it.
Yeah, that's a crazy stat though. 12 for 128 yards.
Yeah,
that's solid.
He had a 52-yarder, I think, so that helps, of course.
Yeah, the average is like over 10 yards a carry or something like that.
Yeah,
so that's fantastic. I think that I feel pretty good about having him. I only have one share of Marianne Hampton, unfortunately, and it's in the league where I was able to pick up Judkins off the waiver wire at random. So those are the 2 running backs that I got, and so I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling really good.
Yeah,
definitely the week of the. Nice. Yeah, it's the week of the resurgence for the rookie running backs, I think, and the Denver game's on right now, and they're definitely trying to do the same thing with Harvey. It appears, but you got Henderson who scored, obviously Genty who had a huge game, and as you're mentioning, Hampton, workhorse back and looked really good.
One guy who didn't have a huge game, Ladd McConkey, which I don't think any of us anticipated him to have a very big game, and we were right about that. Is it time to hit the panic button on Ladd McConkey?
I think so. You're 4 weeks in. I think it's time to definitely hit the panic button on him. It's just weird because McConkey was Justin Herbert's guy last year, and then Johnson, he was dropping passes, and now he's like the number 1 guy. I think he got, what do you have, 10 targets?
8 for 98.
He is the constant. Yeah, he
13 targets. That's what it was.
13 targets.
Yeah,
8 for 98. That is pretty weird.
Crazy.
I mean, and he wasn't even drafted mostly. I don't think he was drafted in really any 12-man leagues. Do you think?
No, because he was dropping balls last year.
Yeah, small percentage, definitely. But he's been very consistent.
Yeah, he has Jackson Dart, only 111 passing yards. But it feels like he had like 411 passing yards because they won. Very exciting.
Yeah, he only passed 20 times, so
yeah. I don't think anyone's racing out and grabbing Jackson Dart, but he is owned in several leagues that I'm in.
I have him in a keeper league, so
he's gone in our keeper league or in our Empire League. He's gone in both of my Superflex leagues, I think. Is he gone in our Superflex league? I think he is.
He was drafted actually. In our Superflex league.
Yeah. I think you were going to see him probably drafted in a lot of those Superflex leagues just because you want to have that second quarterback. And I think everybody knew going into the season that Wilson at some point wasn't going to be the guy.
So Shebass, knowing, you spend a lot of time on college. I don't know a lot other than that he runs a lot or he has that ability. How was he from a passing perspective in college?
He was really good passing wise. I think it was at Ole Miss, I think is where he was. And yeah, he's got that leadership quality, kind of like Cam Ward does. I mean, Cam Ward, Tennessee's just a mess right now, but I think eventually you'll see Cam Ward start producing. But Jackson Dart, the same thing. He's just got that swag about him.
Definitely
guys are gonna follow him. And him and Scattaboo have that relationship already, both as rookies. So I think that's gonna just continue to grow. And I don't know if Tracy's gonna get that roll back, but I mean, Scattaboo had 25 carries for I don't even think he broke 100 yards. So that really wasn't good on Scattaboo's part, but we'll see what happens.
Best part was when my son came up to try to brag that he won in fantasy, and I was like, "Hey, dude," because he had Tracy in his lineup at like that morning, and I went into his lineup and put Marks in, swapped them out, and then he tried to come up like, "See, Dad," and I'm like, "Dude, check your RB2 spot." He's like, "Did you set my lineup?" Like, you're lucky I went in there and set your lineup. He like tried to get mad at me about it.
Dad of the Year award.
Yeah, I'm helping you out, boy.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
That's funny.
I mean, every time he's only 11, so every time someone gets hurt, he's like, "All right, Dad, I'm going to drop this guy." I'm like, "Don't drop him! No."
He's on a week.
It's like, it's like, "Hey, Dad, Xavier Worthy is he has a little cross next to his name. I'm going to drop him." It's like, "Who should I pick up?" So we got Malik Neighbors. What do you think for Wan'Dale Robinson? Without Malik Neighbors, Justin, you think Wan'Dale's gonna step into that role pretty well, or who do you see? Darius Slayton seemed to be the guy that did it this week. So
He did, yeah. And I was hoping for Wandale in a guillotine league and forced to use him in my flex. I was anticipating him getting some targets that just didn't end up happening. But I didn't watch a lot of this game. But from the box score, I don't know. They didn't seem to have many big stats across the board. So it must have been just more of a defensive oriented type game for them to be able to pull this out, but it doesn't seem like anybody really had a lot of stats. Like you mentioned, Scatabo didn't have a big game. Wandale got nothing. What did Slayton end up with?
44 yard, 3 for 44, I believe.
Yeah,
Sure.
4 targets.
Wandale had 3 receptions as well, but only for like 15 yards or something like that. So Slayton just had longer receptions.
With all that said, I mean, they won the game. It's, a morale booster, but I don't know if they're going to be, blowing the doors off of the NFL upcoming.
Did the camera cut to Russell Wilson at all during that game?
I saw him briefly on the sideline, and that was it. And he was giving somebody a high five. So
was he just yelling like "run" every time they ran and passed? Every time the opposing team was going to pass?
like the kids do in youth football.
Yeah, exactly.
Pass!
Did he have his helmet on like Kirk Cousins, ready to go in?
Right.
Like, come on, everyone, yell "run, run!" Looking at the we didn't actually talk about the Vikings game. I think we got to go back to the Vikings game because it ended up ending in a pretty amazing way. I will tell you that I cannot believe that Jordan Addison was caught by a linebacker. I mean, that tells you that you're not supposed to get suspended, and when you are suspended, you're supposed to still work out because there's no reason on the planet that Jordan Addison should get ran down by a linebacker like that.
That linebacker ran like a 4.40 though, so he's fast.
Yeah,
faster than some of the running
like
backs.
5'10". Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I'm positive that they're watching that tape and they're making fun of him. They have to be.
Right. Yeah, that was quite the bummer. At least he have the awareness to, if you're going to be tackled, to fall towards going out of bounds and stopping the clock. That would have been helpful as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
If you guys had to guess how many yards Carson Wentz had in this game, Shebas, how many yards do you think he had? You're looking. You can't.
I don't know. I actually didn't write it down because it just wasn't relevant to me. So
that was like 300 plus.
Dude,
no, I would say
yards. I think.
What?
He had 350 yards.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He had like 200 some yards.
Dude, Wentz went off, bro. He had 350 yards. He was 30 for 46. It's really hard to see when you're like on edge and it's your team. And you're like, come on. And he throws the pick and you're like, ugh. But that was like 1,000 IQ play by, at the beginning of the game by Jordan Mason to touch that ball while he was out of bounds to save that fumble that he had. I thought that was fantastic. Only 57 yards for Jordan Mason, but that was, Carson Wentz had to throw for 350 yards. I mean, I don't think anyone was expecting to be down like that to the Steelers. I was shocked. I had that game checked as a win.
Right.
I thought for sure the Vikings had that one. Justin Jefferson, 10 for 126. And when I'm watching the game, I'm going, Wentz is one of those guys. He doesn't see any other receiver. He only sees Justin Jefferson.
That first half was exciting for both him and Metcalf having monster first halves, but they both disappeared in the second half. So that was a bit discouraging.
That's true. Wentz threw to him 11 times. He caught it 10 times out of 11. So that's a positive. Jordan Addison had the big long one. So he had 81 yards on that one. And then he got scrapped up by the freaking linebacker. 4 for 114.
I mean, we really had a good shot at the end of the game there. So that extra minute would have been huge.
It would have been huge.
Yeah.
I don't know where this Xavier Scott dude came from. I've literally never seen this guy before in my entire life. Like all of a sudden we just got this little running back out there that's tearing it up.
Catching long passes and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they said he was a receiver in college, and then
Okay.
came to the Vikings and was on the practice squad, and they moved him to running back. It was like, okay, well,
6 for 43. He looks like a running back to me. I understand why they did that.
yeah,
For sure.
Probably the
the
number
biggest guy out there.
36. That'll tend to do it.
Hawkinson, it was good to see him actually get some grabs. I'm definitely concerned with Hawkinson. I feel like he's not really part of the offense. And also, ever since someone made that meme that showcased his route running capability, have you seen that? Where they're like, man, Hawkinson ran the worst route in NFL history. And it shows him like go out there and like try to like, and he tries to like do a little whip route, and he's like slow. He's like, and he waits like a second, and then he cuts back the other way right into traffic, and they throw the ball to him, and he misses it. And ever since I've seen that now, when I look at Hawkinson, I'm like, is he good? I don't know if he's good. I don't know if he's still good. You know what I mean? Like,
So, did he tear his ACL when he was with the Lions?
No, with us.
He did not? Okay. I know he tore his ACL once at Iowa when he was playing for the Hawkeyes.
Oh, did he tear the same ACL since he's been with us?
It might have been. Yeah. Like, he just looks slow. Like
that could be why that whip route wasn't whipping. It could be why. Yeah,
well, even when he runs a route, like if he needs to stop, like on a dime, he can't stop on a dime, like most of the guys can, right?
To me, he does seem to be in the same exact spot on the field every single time.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it.
I don't know about that guy. I thought he was going to come back and beat
9 yards and turn around.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Chop.
I was a little bit upset at first that I didn't put Gainwell in. I mean, like, I knew better. I knew that I should have had Gainwell in. Like, as soon as the news broke that Gainwell was starting, and I don't know why the first thing I didn't think of is, like, I'm putting Gainwell in. I didn't do it. I only own him in, like, one league, but I didn't put him in. 99 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I think he's just sitting out there in the guillotine league, just on the waiver wire. Would have been nice to have that guy in.
Yeah.
Sure. DK Metcalf resurgence, 5 for 126. He did have the long 80-yard one, and I did have him in the league, and he got sniped in our Superflex league that I'm in here with you, Shebass. He got sniped by your boy, Steve, because I got Kittle and I needed one more dollar, and I couldn't come up with it. But so that upsets me because now I got 2 tight ends. One of them's on IR. And that's what price enforcing does. That's why anyone who says that auction leagues are not like the way to go, it's like, yeah, it is. It takes pure skill. You have to try to price enforce, get other people to overpay for guys so you can come back and get guys. But if you're smart, you'll do what Justin does, and you'll have idiots like me price enforce and fail. Like the one year I got in for 80 because I was trying to price enforce. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah, you got to stop at some point.
No, well, this is what happens when you go online on like ESPN and stuff, and you try to draft from like a iPad or a phone. It only lets you add $1 at a time. So when I was doing it, I would look around the room and I would see people spamming the $1 thing, and so I would pop in like 75, and all of a sudden they would just spam it. It'd go 76, and everyone start laughing. They get stuck with some guy. So I tried it the next year with $80 on Antonio Brown, and as soon as I hit 80, everyone just stopped. Because they were expecting me to do it. And so I think it was like the year that Antonio Brown decided I'm not good at football anymore. And I got him for $80. So that sucked. Anything else of note in this game, Justin? We're only on the second game here. Steelers, Vikings.
Nope. Wrapped it all up.
Yeah. We really, we're really just cooking tonight. We're cooking tonight. We got
20 minutes in and we're 2 games in.
We are cooking tonight.
When the buys start hitting, we're really we'll hit that hour. We will.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like moving on to the Cardinals and the Seahawks. And I miss Sam Darnold, man. I do. I miss the guy. Slinging Sam Darnold. Wish we had him. I never thought I would ever say that, but I wish we did. Sam Darnold. 242 and a tutty. He's never going to light the world on fire, but he's just so efficient. Ken Walker, 81 yards, but Charbonnet got the touchdown. Did that affect any of you guys? Pretty much worked out the way we thought. We think Walker's the man.
Not me, it didn't.
That's good. That's good. Justin?
Discouraging. Well, which we kind of anticipated when they're both playing. Then unfortunately, it's a tough position, and the Walker owners have to start Walker. Charbonnet owners have to make a decision where you're either going to get one or 10 plus. And in this week, I didn't start him, and I started Walker. So I mean, I'm not happy either way.
Yeah. I just wish that NFL teams would think about us more when they're setting up their rosters.
Come on, guys.
It's like, come on, dude. It's like, you purposely, like, can you imagine like being the coach on the team and just going, Charbonnet, get in there and Vulture just touchdown? Like, that's the first thing I would think of is I'm screwing over all these fantasy owners right now.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you guys seen Walker's legs? I mean, how do you not use that guy at the goal line? They're like tree trunks. Right?
Yep.
So Charbonnet scores a goal line touchdown, and just to keep everybody's morale up, why don't you give the next one to Walker? No, every single time it's Charbonnet at the goal line. It seems like if anybody's going to be the goal line back, it should be Walker.
It just reminds me of back in the day when they would always put Darren Sproles in at the goal line or whatever. I'm like, what? You put in a guy that's like literally freaking under 200 pounds.
Right.
What are you
going to squeeze between in a small crack?
Yeah. Arizona Cardinals side of the ball, Kyler Murray. I mean, he's serviceable. He's serviceable QB in fantasy. 200 yards, couple touchdowns. I really want like rushing Kyler Murray to come back and start killing it. I guess he had 41 yards, so that's pretty good.
Well, the comments I was making during the game about Kyler, just real quick, is when he first started, he had the trajectory to become a superstar, and I don't understand what occurred there. Is it a Cliff Kingsbury leaving, or I don't know if it's his confidence or what, but I was having that back and forth with another owner, and they kind of mentioned they never really thought he was good. And I had to pull up his actual stats and look back in his second year in the league. He had 3,800 yards passing, 26 passing touchdowns, and 800 yards rushing with 11 rushing touchdowns. Now, if that's not a good season for a quarterback, I don't know what is these days. And so with that being his second year, I don't understand how it's just completely gone to this serviceable, as you mentioned, quarterback.
I had a similar conversation back remember when he was like he sat out like the majority of the season with the ACL or something.
Yeah.
And then they had Dobbins and stuff like that over there. And he like came back like strategically so they didn't get the first pick and replace his ass. Like he came back with just like a few weeks left and he started just killing it and like winning games real quick. Like I can't let my team replace me. I ain't going out like that. You know what I mean? Like I can't think of any other reason why he came back because they seem more motivated then than ever. But at the time, the thought process was like if he doesn't come back, like the Cardinals might be drafting a guy, and then he's replaced. Yeah. So maybe the Vikings will want to pick up Kyler Murray. And I was talking to people about it, and they're like, "I don't want that scrub." I'm like, "What? You don't want Kyler Murray over what we got?" Like I couldn't believe that no one wanted him. But I'm so confused. It might be something to do with him in game film and that sort of thing. But even this whole game, 3.5 quarters, he was just garbage, and then he just he flips the switch and he was balling out. He's like, all right, I guess I'll throw it to Marvin Harrison now, who went 66 yards with the touchdown.
Dude, that touchdown pass to him was nice. That was a nice pass and a nice.
Well, to be fair, he dropped a lot of passes. Harrison dropped one. Actually, basically handed it to a Seattle D-back at like the 10-yard line when they were heading in to score. So there were some points left on the table for Kyler as well, and at the hands, quite literally, of Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
I said something about him not rushing as much, but he actually was the leading rusher on the team this week. So what's up with Trey Benson getting only 8 carries? They only gave 12 carries to running backs. Why'd they have 4 running backs in there at different times? Why can't they just use a guy? All we want as fantasy managers is for you guys to use a guy.
And that second half was weird because then all of a sudden you really didn't see him anymore towards the end of the game. He didn't fumble, right? I don't recall.
No, he did not.
Yeah.
No, I think it had a lot to do with. Seattle's defense is boy, it looks really good. So
Yeah.
I think that had a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Tennessee, Houston. Let's panic on all of the Titans players except for potentially Pollard. I would say.
I'd
0
panic
points.
on him too because Spears is coming back.
Well, there we go. So now Spears is coming back. So I guess we should panic on everyone. Let's not play anyone on the Titans.
Yeah. I would keep an eye on that Iluk Ayoman or whatever. I think that's how you say his name.
Stash him on the bench. I did stash him a couple places.
Yeah, he had 7 targets, but they didn't seem like the passes were that good because he only got 2 catches.
Well, and Shebas, as you mentioned, Ward's gonna come around. Ward, he's got the confidence, he's got the skill set. He's getting some experience, and towards he'll continue to get better, and he'll gain more rapport with both him and Ridley, I think. So it's just not the time to start him now, but eventually I think we'll be able to. So go ahead and stash him on your bench if you can.
Yep.
Why can't everyone be like Cam Newton or CJ Stroud the rookie year, where just instantly they make everyone the freaking
that was insane. Yeah.
Speaking of CJ Stroud, 233 and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's serviceable. I had him on the bench.
He had a good game.
Woody Marks coming back with 69 yards and a touchdown off 17 carries. That was what you guys called Woody Marks, and I foolishly had Nick Chubb in several leagues. Now, they did get pretty even carries. It was 13 carries for Chubb, 17 carries for Marks.
Yep.
But apparently, Nick Chubb is not as good. Who'd have thought?
That's what I'm excited about. Every week 1 through 4, his usage has increased. And so now he had this breakout game. He really showed the skill set. He was just so quick. He was cutting. He was confidently running. And then you got Chubb, who's just kind of plodding along. I definitely think it's just going to continue. His
Mark's
usage will
had
continue.
a receiving touchdown as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
50 yards receiving and a touchdown off 4 grabs. Not too shabby.
5 targets.
My son should be thanking me right now because I don't have him in any league, but he has him in a league. And I could have grabbed him. I should have grabbed him, actually. In hindsight, I should have picked him up. Not even let Jairus get him. Nico Collins 4 for 79, so it was good to see him doing stuff as well. That game was a blowout, so not really a ton to talk about there. I think that, I picked them in my survivor pool, and I don't like picking divisional games, but the Titans are just that bad that I just felt like it was safe.
You went with Houston?
We both did, and Dustin.
Did you?
I thought I was like just such a genius. I'm like, hey guys, anybody else pick Houston this week? And they're both like, yep.
I picked Buffalo over New Orleans, and I was like, at the beginning of that game, I was like, oh no, this is way too close.
I thought the same thing. I was like, it's because I've been talking all that shit about Spencer Rattler. He's going to get me back. They always come back.
Right?
Yeah,
bitten by the Rattler.
You've actually been saying like you feel bad for Rattler. Probably you really do feel bad for quarterbacks who are just basically playing so they get their replacements drafted.
Yeah, it's like New Orleans is like, we don't really want to pay a guy, so let's just get through this scrub that we drafted last year so we can get to another guy that we can pay really low salary to next year. Yeah. Spencer Rattler's like their key to the first overall pick. That's what they're looking at him as. Unfortunately.
Not this week.
I wasn't able to grab Marcus Mariota because somebody else grabbed him off the waiver wire. So we're moving on to Washington Falcons. I just don't get the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing that's going on with the Atlanta Falcons right now. But yeah, I didn't get Marcus Mariota, so you know who I had to start in his stead? The only guy available? Joe Flacco. He put up less than 2 points. Huge mistake. I could have literally put up anyone else. I mean, I could have put a tight end in there and got more because it's a super flex deal. Yeah. So rushing, it was kind of weird because they spread the ball around between this Chris Rodriguez and Bill Krosky. It'd be nice to see one guy like Bill Krosky get 14 carries instead of each one of them getting 7. Another team that is tough to even consider starting any of their backs right now. If you had to pick one, Justin, who you starting?
I'm sticking with Bill. I just feel like he's gaining the confidence. He just looks better. He passes the eye test. In this game, he didn't seem to get a carry till it seemed like the third quarter. It might have been sooner than that, but they really didn't. He had an injury designation coming into it, so I was a little concerned early on that was why he was being held out, and he was kind of like only an emergency running back. But they did end up starting to give him carries, and he looked better. So I don't know why he's not getting the bulk of the carries, and I hope that he's gaining the confidence and will start to earn more and more, kind of like we see with Woody Marks.
So Zach Ertz only at 21 yards. I guess we don't really expect a lot of Zach Ertz, but he has actually kind of outperformed those first few weeks. So I was kind of thinking he might keep it going. He really didn't.
It looks like when Jaden plays, he scores. When Mariota plays, he's terrible. So that's the only pattern I'm seeing there.
Yeah, that's true. Mariota is also not as good as Jaden Daniels.
Is Daniels supposed to be back this week?
It sounds like that's the plan.
I hope so. I don't want to have to run it back with Joe Flacco again. That didn't work out.
It seems like anytime like he's not playing, it's like you guys are going to probably lose. It doesn't matter who you guys play.
Well, if you remember, before he was on the team, all they did is lose. He's like
it was an automatic win. You were going, if you were in a pick league, you were picking against the Commanders.
So I had referenced to you, Justin, that every league I'm in that you guys are not in, I look like a fantasy genius, but really it's just that I don't know what's going on with the leagues I'm in, but these people make the weirdest decisions, and I'm okay with it. So let me tell you, I'm in a guillotine league, and this dude has, and I'm only mentioning this because we're on this game, but he has Drake London. Drake London, 8 for 110 and a touchdown. On his bench, so he went off for 24 points on his bench. When you look to see who he has in his lineup, he has DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Austin III, and Booty. Those are the three people he played, and he left on his bench Drake London.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, and this is the same guy that he picked up like Zach Ertz for like 350. I mean, he picked a lot. Like some of these guys, like he paid top dollar for these guys.
Is this the one that's going to get cut that you sent us a screenshot of the other day?
No, this well, maybe, but this guy he's always in the bottom two. Like every week he's in the bottom two, but he has Josh Allen. So like this week he put up 43 points. Josh Allen had 27.8. So Josh Allen always puts up like enough points for him to get second place.
I see what he's doing. He's trying to rub it in everyone's face that it doesn't matter what happens as long as I got Allen in there. I can plug whatever for my receivers, running backs.
That's
good luck with that.
Maybe that is what he's doing. Maybe he's just trolling everyone.
Hopefully the Lamar guy didn't do that this week.
I don't think he did, but I've been salivating at the idea of picking up either Lamar or Allen as soon as I can. This week it's going to be Herbert, Bowers, Neighbors, of course. Doesn't matter. Everyone that he has is hurt on his team too. He had like Jalen and Neighbors and Connor, so he's cooked. He's done. Oof. He's out. Yeah. Atlanta, Tyler Algier. At least the way that Atlanta splits up the carries, because they did pretty equal timeshare as well, 17 and 16. At least they used the guy with the big legs at the goal line, so at least they figured that part of it out. Unlike the freaking Seahawks, right? Because Robinson, I mean, he's just like a finesse runner. It's beautiful watching him. It's like Jamal Charles all over again. Like, what's he gonna do? Algier,
the new regime there, we've been asking for all of these coaches to care about us. I feel like since Arthur Smith left, the Atlanta coaching staff got together and said, let's do a solid to the fantasy community, because Bijan got his. So they're like, all right, you know what? Bijan got a 30 spot for the people who own him. Let's start giving Algier some love. And even Pitts had a good game. So I think that they're looking out for us.
I think Arthur Smith is at home pissed off that he gave Gainwell too many carries. He's like, damn it, I probably played the fantasy community this week.
Yeah.
He's like, how dare I let one running back get 100 yards and 2 touchdowns? This is trash. I'm not doing this again.
Yeah, he's probably pissed.
Yeah, I can see that. We pissed him off for sure. Spencer Rattler. I don't know why I always name off the QB of each game, even though when they do trash. Spencer Rattler, 126 and a touchdown. Somehow the Saints did hang around for a little bit in this game. And I remember going up. Now I'm going to lose another in my survivor pool because freaking somehow Spencer Rattler heard me talking trash and he wants me to lose $10. That's all I could think of.
It was a
Did he
game.
rush at all? Have any rushing yards?
Spencer Rattler,
Yeah.
he had nope. He had or wait, I was looking at receiving. He had 49 rushing yards, 6 for
He
49.
did. Okay. All right.
It'd be weird if he had receiving yards because he'd have to throw the ball to himself, and that wouldn't make any sense.
Well, no.
Probably can be done.
No, because Chris Olave's interception was on a pass to Spencer Rattler in the end zone.
Oh, well, there it is.
Yeah. It was the worst pass ever.
That explains why it has him under passing yards for he's 0 for 1.
And Olave had such a
0 for
weird
1?
stat line. He only had 20 yards, but then he scored a touchdown. I mean, he had been getting so many targets, and then Buffalo must have been watching film and just kind of said, we're going to just put everybody around Olave.
Yeah. Well, you know who had 5 targets was Shaheed, and he did a little bit more with it, 47 yards.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara, again, he's like Mr. Mediocre, but he's getting the job done. 15 for 70. And he had 4 receptions for 2 yards. So that's seems
4
weird.
points.
Yep. That's 4 points right there. James Cook again just went off and had a monster game. Gosh, I can't believe how good he is, man. I don't know why my brain used to see him that way. 22 for 117 and a touchdown. And which receiver, Justin, are you picking up on the Bills if you had to pick up one of them or if you had to trade for one of them? Which is your guy?
I don't want either, but at this point, Shakir, I would say.
They all get low reception, like decently high yards off low targets. Like,
yeah.
Bills are so good. He spreads it around to everybody, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what he does. Josh Allen's a freaking stud. I want him on my fantasy squad. I'm salivating, waiting for this guy to get knocked out finally so I can put down some cash on him. How much out of $1,000 fab, what do you think Josh Allen's worth in a guillotine league?
He was already dropped. He was on a cut team in our guillotine league, and he was the highest bid player thus far, and he went for 410.
Okay, that's good to know. It's good to know for reference. Now, I did grab Justin Fields for no money off the waiver wire. Someone had dropped him. And I just have this weird feeling that he's going to have be like a league winner later on down the line. So,
he had a 47-yard touchdown run.
See,
he scored 30.4, and that was in a 4-point per passing touchdown league.
Picking over no dollars in my guillotine league, and that's like tempting me to save money and not go gangbusters for Josh Allen and save the money to get like other studs. Because I think he could be like a league winner, but he could also just fall down and put up 0 points. So I don't know.
I mean, we all love Josh Allen, but here's the thing: Josh Allen can put up 40 points in a game, but he also has his fair share of 12 and 13-point games because they're just destroying teams, and he doesn't need to do anything. And James Cook goes off. I mean, he just had one of those a couple of weeks ago. I was really surprised that he went for 410 in our guillotine. I mean, it's a 1-quarterback league, and Jamar Chase went for 375. So I don't know, just the value in any kind of redraft 1-quarterback league is, we all know quarterbacks aren't as valuable as those top tier receivers and running backs. So the fact that he went in that $400 range was just crazy.
Yeah. Do you think quarterbacks should be worth a little bit more than they typically are? Because I feel like they're in like a snake. I feel like they're always taken way later than where they should be.
Well, I mean, it's always easy to say that when some of these quarterbacks go off and they're kind of the more consistent. The more consistent guys out there, you know that they're going to put up those big games. But look at Lamar this week. He pulled his hamstring, put up 13 points. And, I mean, if you went and picked up Dak in the 8th or 9th round, you got 30 points. So, I mean, or Fields, and you put up 30 points. So, there's just so many more options out there for a 1-quarterback league to be able to get them later.
Because I got Caleb. I got Danny Dimes, and now I got Justin Fields. I just wanted to see if someone dropped him, and I was like, let me just pick this guy up for no money, and no one bid on him, and I got him. So maybe I'll just save my money for I need Christian McCaffrey to not break anything on his body. I need to bid a ton for him when he goes down.
Better knock on that wood.
Let's move on to the next crazy game: Philadelphia versus the Buccaneers. Not a huge Jalen Hurts game, passing wise. 130 yards, but on the ground he did have 62 yards. So that's. I only talk about Jalen Hurts because he's like the one Eagle that I feel like you can trust. I literally trust nobody else on the team. Well, I should trust Saquon Barkley as well, but
you know how I feel about the Madden cover. I mean, I'm very much a believer, and I never draft the Madden cover, even if I have the perfect opportunity to. I just never do. It's like my thing.
Do you remember the year that Larry Fitzgerald and Palomalu were both on the Madden cover? Both went down with injury.
Oh yeah,
yes.
I'm not saying it's real, but I'm saying
it's not happened every year.
It's not happened. It has not happened every year.
But it's happened about probably 75 to 80% of the years.
Peyton Hillis was the worst.
Yeah,
Peyton Hillis.
That's enough for me.
Yeah, it was like that guy was like gone. Dude was on milk cartons in Cleveland all over the place.
Yeah, I don't even think that was an injury. That was just pure. He's just not good anymore.
Sometimes that's what happens.
He's like, I finally made it. Now I'm just gonna coast.
Freaking Tom Brady got his leg folded in half the wrong way.
I mean, we can go down, pull it up, pull the list up. Almost every Christian McCaffrey, you name it.
Terrell Owens, wasn't he on there once too? And then all of a sudden he just like went crazy.
And his bank account was zero, and he was crying on reality TV.
This is my quarterback.
I don't remember what show it was when they showed him looking at his online banking, and then it like turned and like the camera zooms on him, and it's like a tear.
Was that his reality show?
Yeah.
I think it was like a VH1 or
like
something.
The Bengals or something, and he was like crying because he didn't have money anymore. It's not even funny, dude. It's sad. He probably has a shit ton of money too. He's probably just like, I'm not as filthy rich as I used to be.
Or he just did that for the show so everybody didn't know that he actually has money.
Or just so he could get money back in his bank account. That being said, Ocho Cinco, he came out and said all of his jewels are fake. And I'm starting to believe that most of their jewels are fake. I mean, why else would they wear them on the field like that? Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Ocho Cinco's like, these glisten the same way. Did you see like he was on a podcast and someone had like Googled his net worth, and like he was supposed to be broke, and they like showed him like, is this what your net worth is? And he pulled up his bank account right then and there and showed the podcast host his bank account, and they're like, damn. And he's like, that's just one account, homie. So he's worth a lot more than people think. And then he was saying like, all my jewels are fake. It was all a show. None of it was real.
I thought I heard that he's good with money though. That's what That's what I've always heard, is that he was.
Probably.
So you mean he like opened a 401k like his first year? That's all you got to do is put like one paycheck in there a year. You're golden.
Yeah, the dude's getting paid out with Bitcoin and all that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Right.
401k.
Or like all the NBA players that say they only spend their endorsement money and they save their NBA paychecks. Their NBA paychecks are freaking ridiculous. I mean, those guys get paid obscene amounts of money compared to NFL players.
On the contracts?
Yeah.
Yeah. They make more money off the endorsements if they do it right. And
Gronk was really famous for saying that too, that he never spent game checks.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Gronk.
Oh. Yeah. Marshawn Lynch was the same way.
But I mean, you get like these guys like Christian McCaffrey is supposed to be like the highest paid running back in the league or something like that. But then they said Alonzo Ball was getting paid more than him to be injured and not actually play.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, football, you got so many more players that you have to pay, right?
That is why.
The NBA only have maybe 15 guys that you're going to have to pay.
Right. And 82 games and
Yeah.
That's definitely why. We really digressed on this one.
Good, no, good.
Other side of the ball here, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucky Irvin, 63 yards. That was good. I don't know who scored touchdowns on that team. Who scored touchdowns on the Bucs?
So Bucky had a 72-yarder, I think, and Buka had a 77-yarder. Like both.
Just that one was nice.
Passes.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm looking at Bucky's receiving yards. I'm like, oh, 63 or rushing 63, but he also had 102 yards receiving. And
yeah,
the
he had that
touchdown.
big 70. I mean, but Baker is so fun to watch. We said it last week. They're just so scrappy. But I used to just be annoyed by him, but I don't know
He's
why.
cocky. I think Jackson Dart could end up being like him. He seems
Yeah.
like they seem like they got that same kind of swag.
Yeah, and it's
I
not
like
hateable.
those guys.
Yeah.
Browns have never had a better QB. Like that was a really dumb move by them.
Just goes to show the importance of actually giving, being patient with some of these guys. It's showing with Darnold. It's showing with Mayfield. It's so funny because JJ had a bad game, number 2, and everybody's like, "Oh, we screwed up. We should have kept Darnold. We should have kept Danny Dimes." Danny Dimes was the same way too. He was hot garbage in New York, and now he's putting it together. You gotta coach him up. You gotta be patient with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that and he had that shoulder injury too in Cleveland, and I think that they didn't let him rest it, and then he went to Carolina, and I don't think it fully healed there, so he couldn't put that zip on the ball, and then all of a sudden he went down to Tampa Bay, and it was like, dude, that zip was back on that ball, and he was hitting tight windows.
Funny. He actually went to LA. Remember, he went to LA for a game, and he lit the world on fire in LA.
Yes.
And they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, he can play. He's back. All right." And then Tampa was like, "I like what we saw."
Yeah, oh my God, I forgot about that he went to LA and played the
Yeah, did he had that like last drive like comeback, if you remember.
Yeah,
Rams that one season.
He had a great game. That was a great game. Yeah. I love in the broadcasts whenever like one of them are playing, they remind us all that Carolina had both Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold at the same time and failed miserably with both of them, and now they're both superstars.
Wow, that is wild. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, who's gonna start? Remember, Darnold was all mad because Mayfield didn't start over him and stuff.
Who's the guy that's still there? The Red Rocket.
Dalton. Yeah.
He's still there. He's the one that they kept.
Yeah. I can't believe he's still playing. Sheesh.
Gosh. All right. So we've talked a lot about the Browns, so let's just move on to the Browns game here. Flacco literally got me 1.8 points in fantasy. I'm not very happy about that situation. Judkins, 82 yards and touchdown. Didn't talk any trash to the guy who dropped him today, this weekend. I really wanted to, but I was feeling real bad for the guy because I know this is a guy. The guy who dropped him is a guy who always drafts running back. We're in a snake draft. He always goes running back. And he ends up with Judkins late because he didn't even try to draft him. He like auto drafted him by accident because he was drafted on his phone. Don't even think he had him on his radar at all. And when he drafted him, he kept him like the first week and he didn't play. And then he just dropped him. And then he just sat there. And then I noticed him there and I picked him up. So,
I feel like that happened in quite a bit of leagues that people
really
with that contract issue and all the legal stuff that was going on, they just didn't know where that was going to go.
I didn't get that lucky. It seems like the majority of the uncertainty was around draft time. It seemed like it all got cleared up by the time week 1 came around. So for them to get dropped after, it was well known he was going to come back.
I don't think that he was eyeing rookie running backs, and it's a 12-man league too. It's not like a 10-man league. And so I don't know. He sat there. I didn't notice he was dropped for a week, and he sat there. And when I noticed,
everybody else passed on him too.
Really
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because when he's dropped, he's so far down that list. Because for a bit too, if he was dropped like right after a draft, right?
Yeah.
And he was showing as a free agent. He didn't show up as a Cleveland Brown.
Oh, really? I didn't know that either. I thought he could drop that.
So for a minute, because he wouldn't sign his contract, or Cleveland wouldn't have him sign the contract either. They just were kind of both on that. Okay, we're gonna stay limbo here and wait till everything pans out.
21 carries, man, and no one else even came close. Ford had 1 carry.
Yeah.
Sampson had 1 carry.
Yeah, so, and he only got 1 pass.
Literally couldn't be a better situation. Jerry Jeudy, 3 for 48. I'm just happy he got any points. I'm just happy he got points out. Because at this point, the fact that Shedeur Sanders has not been named the starter is freaking shocking to me.
Well, Dylan Gabriel went in the game.
Yeah, these guys
pass.
They hate Shedeur Sanders. The hate's going.
I mean, I feel like Gabriel's the number 2 there. I think if
Yeah, he is.
anybody's going to get a start, it's Gabriel. Yeah, and
They took Gabriel high.
Well, one good thing for the Jerry Jeudy owners, we don't like injuries. We're not fans of it, but Cedric Tillman looks like he might miss a game or two. And last year, that's about the time when Jeudy took off. So if there's any hope for the Jerry Jeudy owners, maybe he's gonna be targeted a little bit more and hopefully put up some numbers like he did last year.
They need to go back and get Jameis Winston. Bad.
Right.
They need.
Yeah, that would help too.
That would help a lot. Can't believe that the Saints aren't trying to get him back at this point. But, whatever. It is what it is. Jahmyr Gibbs, 15 for 91 and touchdown. Amon-Ra, 70 and 2 touchdowns. Nobody really just went absolutely nuts in terms of yards in this game. But, Goff didn't even have 200 yards. But
he didn't have a good game. It
was a hefty win, won by 2 scores. So that's a positive.
Their defense kind of carried the load there. They had a pretty good game.
I didn't think that the Patriots were going to smack down the Panthers the way they did. I was a little shocked to see them, and I thought they could win. Yeah. I didn't think they were going to win 42-13. Anything, Justin, that sticks out in this game in particular that you've seen in this game?
Well, a little bit more of the same. Travion, again, that rookie breakout, he scored his first touchdown. So that was good to see, although all 3 running backs had a healthy dose of work. So it's not really saying that he's going to be the clear-cut starter, but encouraging to see that he's still getting some work.
Yeah, Stevenson 9 carries, Henderson 7 carries, Gibson 6. I dropped Gibson in a league this week just because I don't want to deal with it anymore. I'm done.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs resurgence, 6 for 101.
Yep.
It's good to see him out there on 7 targets. Drake May broke 200 yards, so that's a positive.
Hunter Henry scored a touchdown, and then he also should have scored a second. He got tackled at the probably 6-inch line. They had to look at it several times. I can't believe he didn't break the plane, but almost scored a second touchdown.
Yeah, I wish I would have grabbed Hunter Henry off the waiver wire after the first week or something. I screwed that one up because I only go for big name tight ends who don't perform in actuality. So that's my goal. Overspend on a big name guy who's not going to do nothing and get hurt immediately.
Like Travis Kelce?
Well, Travis Kelce is the guy that I got rid of this year. Thank goodness to Dustin, who I ripped him off, and that felt great. Usually always works.
Keep it real here. We all know that it feels great when that happens. We're like the only podcast that will admit it.
Great. I feel like I took advantage of him. I'm like, poor buddy. Jacksonville versus the 49ers. I actually played Nick Chubb over ETN this week, and I didn't hear the end of it from these guys. They just couldn't believe I did that.
I can't believe you told us.
You played ETN over who?
No, I played Nick Chubb, and I had ETN, and I didn't play him.
Oh.
And so I wasn't getting correct fantasy advice from the NFL junkie at that time. So ETN 19 for 124 and touchdown. Trevor Lawrence still has beautiful hair, so BTJ did nothing to his shampoo. He did not put air in his shampoo, and he did get 5 grabs for 49 yards. So that was good to see. Nothing super spectacular, but I am shocked that they won.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, 42 yards. Their top receivers all got 40-something yards. So Strange, BTJ, and Travis Hunter all between 40 and 50 yards.
Yep.
What do you think of Travis Hunter moving forward, guys? I passed on him in our Empire League, and I feel really good about passing on him.
Same. Yeah. He's definitely got the skill set, but I'm not rushing out to get him anywhere. So I don't feel the greatest about him.
Just a huge name. Yeah. Just a huge name.
I think he should be on the defensive side of the ball. I don't even think he should be a receiver. I wouldn't even waste my time on him, but I don't know. I'm not a head coach in the league.
He did get 5 targets.
I will say their defense looks fantastic. Jacksonville, that's right now. They're really overwhelming. So their offense really doesn't have to do a lot. Maybe the reason they keep playing him on offense is because they need him to kind of take some of
Pressure.
the coverage away from
Yeah.
some of the other receivers potentially. And if their defense is already as solid as they are, maybe they don't need him as much on the defensive side of the ball as they do the offensive side.
Mm-hmm. Well, on the San Francisco side, Christian McCaffrey is the best fantasy running back currently, even though we're scared of his glass knees. 17 for 49 on the ground, but then another 92 yards and a touchdown through the air on 6 grabs. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It was fantastic to see him get in the end zone. We're used to seeing it. How many games in a row when he had that record? It seemed like it was 18 games in a row when he first went to San Francisco, something like that, where he scored it. It was just like clockwork.
A touchdown.
But then this year so far, it's been tough sledding inside that 5-yard line. So it was really relieving to see that.
I can't remember who I tried to trade, but I tried to trade a starting running back for Brian Robinson Jr. in one of our leagues. It's our Motorline League, and I couldn't get him. Can't remember who I tried to start, but it's like I know that Monty or whoever it was that has him was thinking McCaffrey's going to go down at some point, and that's why I can't come up. So I should just try to make that trade every week until it happens.
You should,
because I do need some sort of insurance policy on McCaffrey still.
Offer him Tyreek.
Ooh, should have done that last week. It's so sad when you go into a box score and you see names like Sky Moore. So much. We expected so much from him, and he was 0 grabs, 0 yards on 1 target. No one else really did much, but Jake Tonjes on the 49ers side of the ball.
Yeah, he'll be applicable until Kittle comes back.
And at that point, I can have 2 tight ends again, and my fantasy team is whole at that point.
One thing I did notice about Purdy, he was throwing a lot of high balls. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with his mechanics, but every pass he threw, receivers were reaching up, laying out. They were all really high. I don't know if and then it sounds like he has kind of a toe ailment now after the game. So I'm not quite sure. Something's going on there.
Maybe he came back because he's like, dude, this Mac Jones dude is the truth. I got to get back in here. Like, I bet I wonder how much that crosses them. The sidelines are like slapping hands and they're acting like they're all happy, but they're like, oh shit, I got to get back in quick.
Happened to Godwin.
And then he comes back and they lose. Terrible. Terrible. Look.
Should have rethought that.
He really should.
I should have let my body heal a little bit more.
Colts. Poor Colts. Colts Rams. I wanted the Colts just to be like undefeated. I wanted Danny Dimes just to go down as like just completely undefeated this season. He threw that pick with like his first pass of the game.
Yeah.
And that started the negativity right off the bat.
Yeah, it was a tough game to watch. A lot of mistakes by the Colts. A.D. Mitchell, I'm sure everybody's seen that gaffe when he reached the ball out right before the goal line and it turned into a touchback. That was rough. And then he also had a holding call on a 50-some yard touchdown run by Jonathan Taylor as well later in the game. So a couple of just really bad blunders there. It was definitely a winnable game for him. And, Danny Dimes did not really put up good numbers, but he didn't make a ton of huge mistakes either.
Dude, when you look at that Mitchell thing, though, man, it reminds me of Deshaun Jackson back in the day. Oh, gosh, how terrible he is. I mean, he's still thinking about that right now. It's a guarantee. He's never going to.
Oh, yeah. Right.
That was a little different, though, because Deshaun Jackson he thought he was in the end zone at the 10-yard line and threw that ball down. But A.D. Mitchell, I get what he was trying to do. Like, he didn't know if there was another guy behind him, right? So he's trying to get that ball out across that line.
I mean, I don't think there's anyone that close to him, though.
I feel like he was, not showboating, but he was, just celebrating. He went to go kind of.
But how does that happen with the gloves? Those gloves are saying
is he kind of like put it out and he kind of like was like he knew what he was going to do. He was going to put it out, stretch it across, and like flick it or something. I don't know. And then he just did it like a half a second too early.
Yeah. The way I saw it, though, it was more like okay, I'm gonna get it and then reach out. But I don't know. It just looks awkward. He's not gonna get any more targets in the next 2 games. It's like that's your limit.
25-yarder, and then he had 2 more grabs, and he still only had like 90 yards, even though he had that 170-yarder. Puka Nacua, freaking monster. I just cannot believe I avoided him at all costs because of the Stafford injury, and he's a freaking monster.
Yeah.
15 targets.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. 13 grabs for 170 and the touchdown. 88-yarder with Atwell. Who's the second receiver you guys are taking on the Rams? Justin, are you taking Atwell or are you taking Adams?
I'll definitely take Adams over Atwell.
Atwell just had that one bomb, and it's really exciting to me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, at that moment, everybody in that building was looking at Puka Nacua, and including the Colts. Everybody, I mean, they rolled coverage to him, triple covered him, and then just forgot Tutu Atwell was there. So, I mean, there was just nobody near him.
Yeah. Mistake.
Kyron Williams, 77 yards. Yeah. That was good to see as well. Whatever happened to
Akers?
Yeah. What happened to Akers this week? Didn't you think he was going to touch the field? You didn't think they were just going to put this practice squad guy to start lighting it up?
Well, we just signed him. And
Chiefs, Ravens. I don't know, man. I think that I don't know, what would it look like if Patrick Mahomes is on a team that had other good players on it? What would he do? I mean,
pretty scary.
Like, obviously Worthy had 83 yards. That was good. I mean,
to be honest, we did talk about this. We did talk about it when we were discussing the challenges, and we said, "Hey, let's wait. Let's see what happens when Worthy comes back." We got Rashee Rice coming back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
they built their entire offense this whole offseason around understanding that they were going to have all these weapons. So when they don't have them, then game plans change, and they have to, just deal with what they're working with. And now just one game with Worthy back, and look what they did.
Yeah, why does Kareem Hunt get twice the amount of carries as Pacheco?
Trust, maybe? I don't know.
It doesn't make sense to me. Because Hunt is getting older.
When Dalvin Cook was drafted, so he's kind of old, and he's just hanging around.
Really?
They were drafted the same season. I know because I drafted them both in the Empire League as rookies. I look like a freaking genius.
You did early on, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's I've seen. I mean, Pacheco's made a couple of just mental errors in the last couple of games, like in pass pro, or there was a time when there was a backwards pass and he was frustrated, and so he kind of threw it on the ground and didn't realize it was a backwards pass. There was just a couple of just mental mistakes that maybe that's what's keeping him off the field a little bit more. But from a skill set perspective, I don't know. I mean, I think Pacheco runs hard. He had the skill set a couple of years ago before he broke his leg. So I'm not quite sure why he's not getting more run.
Yeah, he's a fantasy letdown for sure.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews seems to be actually, I mean, I know he only had 30 yards and 7 grabs, but he still seems like he's more reliable than he was last year. Because I had him last year in multiple leagues. I hated having Mark Andrews on my squad. It was terrible. Zay Flowers, 74 yards. That felt great. And then Lamar Jackson, you said he pulled up on his hamstring. What's the outlook for Lamar Jackson then?
The only thing that I heard was it was somewhat mild. I don't know if there's a potential amount of games that he's going to miss, but it doesn't sound like it's too terribly critical.
But are we going to see him doing Lamar Jackson-esque things, or is he going to be trying to pass? Because I always go back, and I think I might have mentioned it on another podcast, but I always go back because Lamar Jackson is so good as a quarterback. He's obviously one of the best in the league. But I go back to Pro Bowl weekend. It was Lamar Jackson's like I don't know, I think it was the second season or something, and they have a passing competition where they have all these QBs hitting targets. And then they also have in there passing the ball as targets Jarvis Landry and Devontae Adams. And both Jarvis and Devontae Adams beat Lamar Jackson in this competition for hitting these targets. So without his legs, I don't know what to think about him. He throws these darts when he's running, but what if he ain't running? You know,
I mean, I would think that over the last few years, Lamar Jackson has gotten incredibly better at passing the ball. Certainly,
definitely. I mean, yeah, he's definitely developed. He's definitely gotten better. But I don't know, fantasy wise, without the legs, not as excited. But you know who is excited? Caleb Williams to paint his nails. He's very excited to do that. He really didn't do much this week. I did have him in my guillotine. Thankfully, I had that guy that had all those injured players on his squad, so I didn't have to worry too much about losing. But Rome Odunze, again, solid game, 69 yards and a touchdown. I love me some Odunze. At one point, I seen him get tackled hard, and I panicked. He popped right up.
You're having McCaffrey syndrome with all of
dude,
your
he got
players.
tackled hard, and I was like, no, don't leave me. But he's good. Another 4 grab for DJ Moore.
So something about Caleb I just want to mention. It seemed like last week when he played the Cowboys and had just a monster game, everybody was anointing him because we were all so relieved. Hey, it's the Caleb we all thought it was going to be. And I was just kind of like looking around going like, what? Am I the only one who realizes he just played the Cowboys? Like, he's not going to play the Cowboys every week. So here we are this week. He's back to, I think he put up 13 points. I mean, he'll have his good games, he'll have his bad games, but he didn't just turn into, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, just because he played the Cowboys.
So did you guys see that Ben Johnson halftime interview with that sideline reporter?
I saw it come through on when I was scrolling through on social media, but I didn't watch it.
Okay, so did you watch it, Justin?
I had the sound on a different game. So it's just interesting you said it because when I saw it visually, I'm like, he looks like he's being an asshole.
Oh, he was.
Is that the case, really? Yeah, because I did not hear any of it.
So basically, she asked him so how do you feel about the Raiders? How they do that or whatever. Yeah. And he responds with some real generic stuff like, oh, yeah, we're going to, try to come out strong and push the ball up and down the field. How they just come out and say stuff that's obvious. He's like, yeah, I'm going to have Caleb Williams spin the ball through the air into the gloves of another receiver. But then she looks at him and goes, well, you're going to have to change what you're doing. You're going to have to do something different. And he just gets pissed. And he's like, we'll be fine. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what he said, but then he goes, we'll be fine, okay? And he just walks off.
Yeah,
wow, that woman has some balls to say that, but and then people were clowning him because they're like, "Wow, this guy's been a head coach for literally 3.5 games, and he thinks that he's got this swagger where he can get upset with people on the sideline." But then they end up pulling off the freaking win by 1 point, which
right?
That
was annoying to see.
Is he known as an asshole? Because I know him and Dan Campbell don't get along.
Oh really?
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, because
I didn't know that
with the Lions when he had a head coaching job lined up last season. He decided to stay with the Lions for 1 more year.
Yeah, and I know they've had issues in the past. And then didn't the Bears and Lions already play
this season?
It was it
was week 2, right?
I do remember that. Yeah, they did play.
Yeah, and I remember that was a topic right at the end of the game, and they had a handshake, and one of the reporters mentioned something they were surprised that they actually shook hands or something.
Well, if there was a DraftKings side bet for who could kick whose ass, my money's on Dan Campbell.
Yeah, me too. Take him out by the kneecaps.
Ashton Genty, I guess he's not Trent Richardson. He did his thing. What changed? What's different in this game versus all the previous games? Because before I was always hearing that the offensive line sucked. But 21 carries, 138 yards, a touchdown, 6 yards per carry average, as long as that 64-yard touchdown or 64-yard run. So,
it could be just the game slowing down for him now.
Does the game need to slow down for running backs in the way it does for
everybody? Yeah, it needs to slow down because you need to see the holes, right? And then you need to control your pace too, right? You can't just go 110% as soon as you get the ball. You got to go, you got to go at a fast speed, but then you got to have that burst speed at a different speed.
Yeah, you anticipate your blocks. You're going to anticipate where the holes are going to be. It's all a different speed. We talked, it's kind of been a common theme this whole episode about those rookie running backs kind of all breaking out this week. And we've named a bunch of them. And obviously this is the biggest case. And even tonight, as we're sitting here, RJ Harvey getting a lot of work, but there's something to be said. We talked about how they don't play a lot in preseason, and the first 3 games almost act as a preseason of sorts for all these players, and it's just kind of all coming together. It seems like that's the pattern that we're seeing here.
Do you think we should go back to 16 games and have 4 preseason games again, just for us fantasy owners, so they can get that one under their belt and we know who to draft instead of this? I hate the way the preseason works right now.
We should force them to play all the starters in the first game for the first quarter, the first 2 quarters, the second game, and then the first 3 quarters, or at least starting into the second half. Like, it would be nice if we had some sort of a mandatory thing. I mean, it would benefit the players. It would benefit the product of the game. But, I mean, obviously that wouldn't happen. But I think that would be the best case scenario. I mean, I like the fact of having 17 games. I like the fact of even maybe having 18.
18 and 4 preseason games. And I want special like fantasy football film at the beginning where we get like the cables like this, so we can get closer look at what's going on. And they need to answer specific fantasy football questions.
Absolutely.
They need to answer us on the depth chart, like who's actually going to get the carries. Like, this is the fact that we have to guess is BS.
Yeah, this guessing sucks.
Yeah.
If we're going to throw out all these needs, for those of us that have the ticket, I think when you're watching the multiple games, they also need to be in 4K. Enough of this blurry crap.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like
tired of it.
Yeah. and those of us who can't afford the ticket, but we do have multiple picture-in-picture screens on YouTube TV, why don't you play good games? Why do you pick? They pick like the 2 worst games, and they're like, we're going to play these both at the same time. It's
the one thing with Gente that I noticed too is, I don't know if you guys watched him at all when he was at Boise State, when the big hype was going on over the last 2 years.
Blue Fields throw off my eyeballs.
But the one thing that he does so well that a lot of running backs don't do is, as soon as he gets touched, he gets those high knees going, and they don't stop. So if you go too high on him, you're not going to bring him down. If you're going to bring him down, you got to go low and wrap around his legs, right? Otherwise, he's just going to break through any tackle if you go high. It's just his high knees. He'll kick him kind of back, and then all of a sudden, once he knows there's somebody right behind him, he starts doing the high knees until they hit him, and then he typically sheds the guys. So that was nice to see.
What wasn't nice to see was the return of Trey Tucker to earth. I did pick him up in the league. Just in case. You never know.
You never know.
Sucker.
Sucker.
And he returned to earth. Should we move on to the game of the week? I mean, I think we should move on to the game of the week, which of course is the tie game.
Game.
Yeah. Packers, Cowboys. The NFL game script couldn't have scripted it any better than this. And there was a lot to love in this game, and even Jordan Love was a lot to love this game with 337 and 3 touchdowns, which I think it was last week, and I compared him to Jared Goff, and everyone just was like, what? Well, he did better than Jared Goff this week, which was shocking, right?
Yeah.
Dak
Not
Prescott.
really.
I mean, it wasn't impressing, or he didn't do better.
Well, Corey, who did they play?
I forget. When you play the Cowboys, you're not
Go
really
on, buddy.
good. I forget about that theory. 319 yards and 3 touchdowns for Dak Prescott too. They both had almost identical games.
Dak also had a rushing touchdown.
So that's good. Javonte Williams also a rushing touchdown and 20 carries. so funny because no one else on the team really got any carries. They all got 1 and 2 carries aside from him. George Pickens, oh my gosh, it was really good to see George Pickens with the 8 receptions, 134, multiple touchdowns, and he was in my lineup, and I was playing Justin. So it's the rare time that I got to beat Justin, and I credit some of that to George Pickens. It was fantastic. I beat you twice this year, didn't I? I beat you twice.
No, I took you the first game. No,
you beat me the first game. Oh yeah, you crushed me.
Yeah.
The way that game started, I thought it was going to be another blowout. It just was going to be. So in one of my pick sixes, right? I did a over for Dak Prescott at 36.5 pass attempts, and I was like, they're going to be playing from behind again, right?
Sure.
So that's why I went with the over, and I was like, dude, it was the last drive that Dallas had. He was at 35 pass attempts, and I was like,
wow,
you got to be kidding me. I was like, I hope this goes to overtime, and ended up going to overtime, and I hit it, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, he had 40.
But the way that game started, though, I thought it was just the 2 touchdown passes to Dobbs, and I was like, man, this is going to suck. It's just going to be a blowout. Packers are going to look really good. And then, yeah, I would have rather have a Packers loss, but that
a half a loss is all right. We should have had a win, though. Vikings should have had a win.
Yeah.
Jake Ferguson continues to be a good tight end. Happy I grabbed him in the last round in the league. Any other people to note in this game from the Packers wide receiver situation? I see Josh Jacobs is the man over there. Josh Jacobs when it comes both receiving and rushing, right? Because he had 71 yards receiving. He was a leading receiver.
Well, Dobbs scored 3 touchdowns, so that was a big deal.
Yeah. We could say it's a big deal, but at the same time, they're playing the Cowboys, man.
Yeah, excellent point. Yeah.
Romeo Dobbs is one of those dudes that always gets picked up and dropped in every league. And so he's going to get picked up again this week. But, I mean, what do you think about that? He was 6 for 58 and 3 touchdowns. Is he worth a waiver wire grab for more than a couple dollars? Or do you think he's the guy over there? Because it's still hard to say who the guy is over there.
Yeah, I think we talk about this every week, and we just kind of say it's going to be someone different next week. I mean, you could always have that dart throw. I have got Dobbs in a league, the league that you just beat me in, and he's sitting on my bench. I should have played him because he was playing the Cowboys, but it's just, you never know when to count on it.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to do what you say, not as you do,
Yep.